Have you ever felt like you're standing on the edge of something vast, invisible, and terrifying? That's the inner abyss Kierkegaard warned us about, the silent war between who you are and who you might become. But what if that fear isn't your enemy, but your greatest chance to change everything? The question is, when you're staring into the unknown, will you choose to step forward or step back? Instead of focusing purely on anxiety as a symptom, this video explores Kierkegaard's idea of the dizziness of freedom, how our existential anxiety is not something to be cured, but something to be understood and transformed. This version reframes anxiety as the starting point for personal empowerment and authentic choice. The abyss of possibility. Kierkegaard believes that anxiety arises not from fear of the known, but from facing the infinite possibilities that come with freedom. He called this the dizziness of freedom, a moment when you recognize your responsibility to shape your life with no guidebook. Have you ever stood on the edge of a big decision and felt paralyzed, even though you weren't in danger? That's not fear. That's freedom, raw, dizzying, overwhelming. And according to Kierkegaard, that's exactly where your real life begins. But there comes a moment in every life when you feel like you're standing at the edge of something vast and unknowable. It's not fear of falling, but fear of choosing which direction, which path, which version of you to become. Kierkegaard called this the dizziness of freedom. It's the realization that you are not trapped, you are free. And that freedom, though terrifying, is the greatest gift you've ever been given. In life, this shows up as a decision whether to pursue a dream or settle, whether to grow or stay still. These moments feel small, but they're not. They are the portals through which we either step into our higher self or retreat into comfort. The abyss of possibility isn't meant to swallow you, it's meant to awaken you. It reminds you that your life is not pre-written. You are the author. Each anxious breath before a decision is the soul whispering, you are capable of more. So, don't be afraid when life makes your head spin with options. That dizziness is not weakness, it's potential stretching itself out before you. Embrace it, because on the other side of that vertigo lies a self you haven't met yet, a braver, freer, more intentional you. And every time you choose with awareness, you step closer to becoming the person you were always meant to be. Anxiety as a compass, not a curse. Rather than a weakness, Kierkegaard saw anxiety as a signal, the birth cry of self-awareness. It's not meant to be suppressed, but listened to, so we can become who we truly are. What if your anxiety isn't a problem to fix, but a message, a quiet invitation to leave the path that was chosen for you and start choosing your own? Anxiety is often misunderstood. We see it as something broken inside us, a flaw we need to fix or suppress. But Kierkegaard offers us a radical reframe. Anxiety isn't a curse, it's a compass. It's the emotional signal that you're standing at the threshold of growth, of change, of a decision that matters. Think about it. When do you feel anxious? It's rarely when you're stuck in a routine. It shows up when something is calling you forward, into the unknown, into possibility. Anxiety is your soul's way of grabbing your attention, urging you to wake up and pay attention to what's at stake. It arises when the choices you make could shape who you become. This isn't just theory, it's deeply practical. When you feel anxious about speaking up, it often means your voice matters. When you feel anxious about starting something new, it's because part of you knows it could change your life. Anxiety isn't there to paralyze you. It's there to point you toward the next layer of your becoming. Rather than asking, how do I make the anxiety go away, try asking, what is this trying to teach me? That shift alone turns anxiety from an enemy into an ally. You don't need to be fearless, you just need to listen more deeply to what your fear is telling you. Because beneath the surface of every anxious thought is a quiet invitation to become more of who you are. The choice that changes everything. We always have two options in the face of anxiety: despair and avoidance, or acceptance and self-creation. To choose is to become. And each choice either brings you closer to your authentic self or pushes you further away. You can numb it, you can run from it, or you can use it. Kierkegaard believed the path to your highest self starts the moment you stop running and start choosing. We all face moments where we're pulled in two directions: comfort or calling, fear or faith, safety or selfhood. Kierkegaard believed that real transformation begins with a single deep choice, not just about what you'll do, but about who you'll be. It's not the outer decision that matters most, but the inner commitment behind it. The choice that changes everything is the choice to show up fully even when you're scared. It's choosing truth over convenience, purpose over distraction, integrity over approval. And here's the secret. That choice isn't made once. It's made every single day. Every time you silence your voice to avoid conflict, you're choosing to shrink. Every time you procrastinate on your dreams, you're choosing delay over destiny. But every time you take even one small step in alignment with who you truly are, even if no one sees it, you're making the kind of choice that reshapes your life. This doesn't mean you need to make perfect decisions. It means you commit to choosing consciously again and again, to choose love over bitterness, curiosity over cynicism, action over avoidance. The real power lies in knowing that your life is not just something happening to you, you are choosing it with your habits, your focus, your words, your courage. The choice that changes everything isn't always dramatic. Sometimes it's as quiet as saying, I won't give up today. And that's where everything begins to change. From dread to destiny. Existential dread isn't a dead end, it's the doorway into transcendence. Kierkegaard believed that the self is only born when we choose in full awareness of our freedom, and anxiety is that awareness, waking us up. The deeper the dread, the closer you are to transformation. Kierkegaard teaches us that the self isn't found, it's forged. We often treat dread as something to run from, an emotional weight we carry when we feel like something is wrong or missing. But Kierkegaard teaches us that dread is not always a sign of doom. It can be a sign of becoming. It's the heavy silence that precedes real transformation. The trembling just before a leap that changes you. When you feel dread, it often means you're brushing up against your own potential, a deep awareness that you are not yet who you could be. It's the discomfort of knowing there's more to your life and that something inside you is being asked to awaken. That's not weakness. That's destiny knocking. Instead of numbing that dread or distracting ourselves from it, what if we sat with it and asked, what is this unease trying to tell me? Sometimes dread points to a part of your life that is out of alignment. Other times it signals that you're ready for a change you've been putting off. It's not punishment, it's invitation. When you meet dread with courage, not denial, it becomes a doorway. And when you walk through that doorway with honesty, you come out stronger, clearer, more aligned. You get closer to the self you're meant to be. The dread doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're waking up to something deeper. And in that wakefulness, your destiny begins to take shape, not as something distant or abstract, but as the next courageous step forward today. You are more than you fear. Your life isn't defined by what happens to you, but by how you respond to it. Every anxious moment is a new beginning, a quiet opportunity to awaken into something more honest, more free, more you. You're not weak because you feel anxious. You're human, and you're standing at the edge of possibility. All that's left is to leap. Fear whispers lies. It tells you that you're not ready, not good enough, that the unknown will break you. But those thoughts are not facts. They are echoes of past wounds, old limitations, protective illusions. And here's what Kierkegaard and so many thinkers who stare at fear in the face would remind us of. You are not your fear. You are the one facing it. Every day you make choices, not just about what to do, but about who you believe yourself to be. And fear will always try to narrow that belief. It'll convince you to stay small, stay silent, stay still. But the deeper part of you, the part that knows you were born to grow, create, connect, knows better. You don't need to wait until you feel brave to act. You become brave by choosing to act despite the fear. And each time you do, you reclaim a piece of yourself that fear tried to steal. Courage isn't loud. Sometimes it's quiet persistence, a gentle no or a shaky yes. Sometimes it's just getting out of bed, trying again, speaking honestly. You are not here to be ruled by fear. You are here to learn, to stumble, to rise, and to discover that what's on the other side of fear is not just freedom, but your truest self. So when fear comes, don't shrink. Stand. Breathe, choose, remind yourself, I am more than I fear, and I prove it every time. I keep going. So what happens when you face that inner abyss? Kierkegaard reminds us that fear, anxiety, even dread aren't signs of weakness. They're invitations. Invitations to choose, to step beyond the illusion of certainty and become the person you're meant to be. You don't need all the answers to move forward. You just need the courage to make the next choice. Now I'd love to hear from you. How do you respond when fear or anxiety show up in your life? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read everyone. And if this sparks something in you, the next video will take you even deeper into a part of the human experience we rarely talk about, but all silently carry. Click here to continue the journey. Your next insight might be waiting in the first sentence.